first thing that I saw when I came to Uganda was its beauty. It was a lot greener than I expected. As we drove down the road, then all of a sudden I started to see, more of the almost like shanty villages. And we drove into Kampala, which was absolute chaos. People were walking between cars, cars were like nose to nose almost. But then we drove on from Kampala and we went out to Tabiro village. All of a sudden, we were just met by probably 400 kids just swarmed our car. I got out of the car. I hardly had any room to move, and they were playing drums and singing, and there was music, and I was feeling overwhelmed. And then all of a sudden, one very strong memory I have is that all of a sudden, all these kids just started jumping up and down in sync, and it was like this sea of bobbing heads, and that was my welcome to the village.
Not often do two communities on opposite sides of the world form such strong ties. This is the story of how an African village and people from a Canadian city built a bridge of love, and how by walking together through tragedy, they forged a deep and meaningful connection. Tabiro is a small village in the Impigi district of Uganda. This community is working hard to reach economic sustainability. For decades, the people of Tabiro suffered through the devastations of political unrest, disease, and extreme levels of poverty. But now things are starting to change for the better. The fire of change was ignited by a relationship that developed between the villagers of Tabiro and the community of Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada. This part of the story begins with a little girl named Dorcas and a doctor named Wally.
I took an opportunity to come to Uganda for 3 months to be a teacher in a program teaching HIV medicine, which is what I've been doing back home, but mostly teaching in the hospital and making rounds on the hospital wards. That's, of course, where I met Dorcas, and that's sort of where the story begins.
Dorcas grew up in Tabiro as a smart, happy, and seemingly healthy child. Life for her was similar to other children in the village, until she started having heart problems.
She needed heart surgery. Then I said, how are we going to do that?
We had no money for operation. Worry. He was with the other doctors making their rounds as usual, and he came across Dorcas.
Dorcas was known for her beautiful smile, but it was something more than her smile that caught Wally's attention and moved him to help.
Wally knew that if she didn't get surgery almost immediately, that there was no way that she was going to live. And he felt, I think he just felt compelled to try and do something, and he called his colleagues in Canada, in Halifax, and asked them if he brought Dorcas back to Canada, if they would be willing to do the surgery for free.
Wally encouraged his friends, family, and his surgical colleagues back in Halifax to help him with his mission.
They raised money. Then we took Dorcas to Canada, where she was operated, and the problem seemed to be overcome.
Dorcas got whatever she liked, whatever drug, and the medicine was so expensive, but God supported us through Wally's family, friends. They supported us, and we got, whenever we needed it, they said, you take this medicine, take this medicine, take this medicine. The money was there.
She had her surgery, and all went well, and they even started to go out and see a few of the sights of Halifax.
During their stay in Halifax, she and her father touched the hearts of everyone they met. The city of Halifax showed the two Ugandans that despite being half a world away from home, they were valued and loved. A bridge between the two communities was being built. Unfortunately, as that bridge was being strengthened, Dorcas's health weakened. Her heart started to fail once again.
Well, she came back and did well for a short time, but then it became clear that the surgery hadn't completely corrected the problem, and then arranged to bring her back.
For the second time, Dorcas had to fly to Canada. This time, her serious heart condition was dire. Dorcas's mom, Ruth, took her to the hotel airport. It would be the last time she would see her.
That time I accompanied them, we slept together. Because Wari said, I was not going to sleep there with them in the hotel, but he said, let the mom sleep here. I think it was God's maybe plan, was talking to all maybe in case something happened. Then we went. She said bye as they were going.
And we brought her in, they did surgery. She did well for a short time, but then most of her organs began to shut down, and unfortunately she passed away in Halifax about 3 days after surgery. And it was a very hard time for all of us because we had so much emotional investment.
Here Dominic was, miles and miles and miles away from home. His wife Ruth was back at home. She was in Uganda. And, and now because of the media around this whole story, it was kind of shocking news and sad news for everybody.
So much love and care and faith into this young girl's life. It was...
God hasn't taken Dorcas just to hurt us, but has a plan behind it. He said he's going to do greater work, so encouraged us to stand.
Dorcas's life is and was a bridge. When you think of the lives that they touched among the hospital personnel and the people in churches and in the Ugandan community.
I think Dominic actually started the term was that he wanted Dorcas's life to be a bridge that would bridge Tabiro and Halifax, or Tabiro and Canada. She connected two parts of the world, and we've been working together ever since.
Not only did Dorcas initiate a deep relationship between two communities, her story inspired many others to stand with the people of Tabiro in honor of Dorcas's life.
Dominic in our home spoke with us after Dorcas died and said, I'm also father to orphans in Uganda, and will you stand with me?
We'd become so close by this time that we felt that, and I'd gotten to know the family, that maybe we should do something in Dorcas's name. And so what happened was we decided to go ahead and assist Dominic. We thought we would raise the money to build Dorcas House, which basically would be a dorm for the orphans. And we then got involved with Ron Barbanel, who also went to our church at the time.
But one of the particular emphases in me coming and actually partnering with Tabiro and Tabiro partnering with us was my desire to actually bring Canadians to something and to work on something together and to do life together.
In 2006, Ron's nonprofit employer, the Navigators, enthusiastically agreed to initiate a project in Tabiro called Uganda Venture. The mission statement aims at transforming individuals, families, and communities out of poverty into lasting well-being. Not only is Uganda Venture set up to initiate development projects for Ugandans, it also helps Canadians in two ways. Canadians gain a better understanding of the multiple faces of world poverty. They also come to appreciate the simple joys of community, family, and children from cultures which value these above economic gain. Building relationships that will strengthen the bridge between Tabiro, Halifax, and Canada.
Okay, that place where we are going now, it's where we buried the Dorcas. So this is her tomb. I thank God, although she died, and we would love to see her in this life. She was a bridge. So I can say Dorcas is a hero. Is a hero though she died.
Tabiro in the Ugandan language means meeting place, appropriate as it has become a meeting place of two cultures.
Now, in Tabiro, there are two fairly large dormitories for the orphans, and we've just put up a new building that has office space, has a computer lab for the kids, and then also some guest rooms for when visitors come.
Uganda Venture continues to cross the bridge that all came about because of a little girl and her broken heart.